Instead of using PowerPoint presentations, you should try Anthropic's new Claude Design. The difference isn't just creating better slides, it can do things that are literally impossible in PowerPoint. So let me show you 4 use cases of Claude Design, starting with a slide deck with my company branding, followed by an interactive presentations where assumptions update in real time, a reusable dashboard that refreshes whenever you upload a new dataset, and finally, an AI stock researcher that pulls live data from the internet and analyzes it. Crazy thing is, none of this requires any code. You just need to know a few important points that I'll show you in this video. Let's get into it. And thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. To get started with Claude Design, you just need to go over to Claude and from here click on their design product. This should navigate you to Claude AI/design. From here, we have options like templates and prototypes that we'll look at after, and for now, let's go with a slide deck. We can name this a sample, and down over here, you'll notice we have what's known as a design system. And when we click inside of that, you'll notice here we have the option to set up a design system. So let's click further inside that. This is basically adding your company's branding, so their color palette, logos, etc. This way, you don't have to repeat yourself every time in the prompt. So over here, I can maybe name this my company. In my case, feel free to name it something else for you. And down over here, we can do things like add the company's logos, their color palette, etc. If this isn't something you have available, you can also just literally take a screenshot of your own website. In my case, I took a screenshot of this one right here. And I've also uploaded the logo of my company. Now we just need to click on continue to generation. And when this is actually done, you'll be amazed at how much detail it can actually provide. So here I am in the finished version of the design system, and I can choose this one as the published one and as the default. You'll notice it's picked up my logo. This is the one I uploaded, but also the logo icon. It's also found all of the different colors, so you can see the branding there. This is all based on the screenshot that I gave it and the name of my company. It's also got things like all of the tags. And if we keep scrolling down, it even has things like the fonts that I'm using, the sizes, etc. So it really has a ton of detail, way more than I expected. With that housekeeping item out the way, we can now get back into the design stage, and you'll notice when we choose slide deck, now we're gonna have a design system as the default, which is the one I just created. Let's go ahead and call this something like the sample and press on create. Before we actually add a prompt, we need to know what we're working with. In this case, we've got this data set over here on the Q1 and Q2 sales review. So you'll notice here we have some information on the company revenue, the target, how much it differed, and also some things like the conversions. And you'll notice that this is for Q1, so January all the way to June here. So with that over here as the prompt, I'm gonna choose to create some kind of a business review deck. So it should include an executive summary, some revenue performance, target versus actuals, and a total of 5 slides. I want it to be similar to a consulting or a banking slide, where there's a fair amount of text and not just visuals. So you'll notice we have that design system already set up by default, and we need to upload the dataset. Now let's go ahead and send this. Awesome, we're all set up now. It's created 5 slides, and you'll notice that it's using my company's colors, the same colors as the website that I'm using over here. So that's looking pretty promising. If I go over to the different slides, right here you can see I have my target lines, and I've got my actuals for Q1 and Q2 in different colors, and so on and so forth. And let's just check that these numbers are correct. By going to this first one, it's 5.94 million. So that would be the Q2 revenue number. And if I scroll lower down, so that's Q2 starts right here, and it's the revenue number. So let me take that all the way to the bottom. And you'll notice right here as the sum, it says 5.94 million. So that's looking correct. Going back in here, what if you don't like certain parts? Of course, you can ask it within this area on the left, or you can also just go ahead and ask for some tweaks in here. It's gonna do those for you quickly. And we can also go to edit, which is literally going inside of all of these different parts and making any changes. So here I could add an S if I wanted, things like that can easily be done there. And even better, we can go ahead and press on share and take this over to PowerPoint if we wanted for further edits. At this point, you might be thinking, while the branding aspect is great, it's not that different to using an AI tool inside of PowerPoint. I'd have to agree there, but just bear with me as the next scenario is where it really gets exciting. Before we go over that, one of the biggest challenges with AI is knowing which tool to use. There's hundreds of them out there and so many overlap with each other. That's why with the help of HubSpot, I've put together a free resource called Kenji's AI Stack, 12 tools that cut analysis time in half. By clicking the link in the description, you can access this AI toolkit completely for free. It breaks down 12 of my favorite AI tools across different areas like productivity, analysis, presentations, and more. For each of the tools, you'll see some tags for the scenarios they're most useful for. For example, for Claude Design, I particularly like it to animate presentations and create clickable decks. So if you want to find out my personal favorite AI tools that I use on my day-to-day, head over to the link in the description below to download this completely free guide to level up your AI workflows. And thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video. In the second case that we want to create a more interactive presentation, suppose we've got this scenario for opening up a new store. So we want to see under different scenarios, a downside, a base case, and an upside, how things would turn out. So when is it likely to reach a payback period? So when are we likely to pay back all of the initial investments? How profitable will we be, etc. So for all of this data, it makes sense to try to put it together into 1 or 2 slides. Going back to Claude Design, this time we're gonna go for a prototype, so it's actually interactive. Let's call this interactive here. And we're fine with having this career principle system. We're gonna call this a high fidelity one and just press on create here. You'll notice that the tags are slightly different now on the bottom, and as the prompt, I'm gonna write something like this. Create an interactive presentation for evaluating whether we should open up a new store. And we want it to be interactive with these different toggles that I'm showing over here. Now let me make sure I upload the data. Awesome, I'm all set up here and I'm just gonna run this. Along the way, if certain parts are unclear, you'll notice that we get asked a few different questions, as is the case right now. So first, what format fits best here? So I can say I just want 1 to 3 interactive slides. I can choose that, let's say this is for an internal committee, it's within the company that we're choosing which store to open. And down here, I wanna say that I wanna show all of the different scenarios. And you can see just how much you can customize further. Skipping to lower down, I can even choose the type of chart that I'd like to see here for that break-even point. So this is the final result. That first slide isn't really that notable and it's just more of an overview, but this second one is where it gets more interesting. Let's go ahead and present this in a new tab so we can see it a bit better. Within this left-hand side, you'll notice that we can move things. So the number of monthly customers at maturity, you'll see how that updates, and when we do so, all of our visuals are changing over here on the right-hand side. Obviously, the more monthly customers, the faster we're gonna reach a break-even point, so actually start making a profit. Same thing with the order value. If we bring that up a lot, it's gonna be much better, whereas if that's lower down, it's much worse. We can also toggle here to see the monthly profit, and up top we have some kind of a KPI or a tag showing us when it's worthwhile and when it's not, changing colors from a caution, a no-go, all the way to a go. So next time you're in a meeting, instead of just having a static PowerPoint slide, having something with a toggle that can move around can make it a lot more engaging. To be honest, these first 2 scenarios are still actually quite static, and that's because we can't add more data to it, so create some kind of a reusable workflow. For example, in here, you can see that I have a data set just for the first quarter, but what if I have data for the second quarter? I would like whatever I create to update based off of that. So that's what we want to make here. We want to create some kind of a dashboard to judge the performance of all of these different marketing campaigns. You can see here the impressions we've got, the conversions, etc. So we want to try to convert this into a dashboard that updates based on what data we give it. For that, we can go back to Claude Design here as the prototype again, and I'm gonna go for a dashboard. We're happy to have this same design system and press on create. Here, the key difference is going to be the prompt, and you'll notice it's a lot more detailed first. At the very start here, I say to create a reusable dashboard where I can upload a new CSV file with a button like this. So the idea is that if I have Q1 data first, I can go ahead and press on upload and add Q2 data instead. And down over here, I have some details on what the dashboard should include. And because we already have the design system set up, we don't really need to tell it things like which color to use. Now let's upload the dataset and get started by running this. This is the finished result. You'll notice it says 117 rows loaded. And if we go back to the original dataset here for Q1, it's 118. That makes sense because the header obviously isn't being loaded. Visually speaking, this is looking pretty neat. You can see here that I've got the revenue and the spend over time, so what that looks like. I've also got different breakdowns by channel, so it looks like the meta ads are really working quite well. In terms of revenue, they seem to be the highest, but in terms of conversion, actually Google Ads seems to be leading here. I can keep scrolling down. We've got some best and worst performers here based on this particular metric. And then down over here, I even have that summary that I mentioned with some of the key recommendations. Awesome. So that part looks good, but here we go with the big test, which is uploading a CSV here. Let's actually open this up in a new screen so we can see it a bit better. So in this area, we're gonna go over to upload CSV. I'm gonna go for the Q2 one, and remember for the Q1, the data only has 117 rows. It's about 500K. So you'll notice here, just pretty much instantly, it's saying 81 rows now. It's changed the numbers, even the trajectory over here, the spend is going down, but the revenue is going up. That's clearly very different to that Q1 trajectory. When I look at the actual dates, you'll see that these now go from April all the way to May, and all of the numbers here seem to have updated, so that's looking great. And just like that, without writing any code, we've created a full dashboard. But these 3 scenarios we've done so far don't actually have any live data, so maybe data from the internet. That's what we're gonna work on next. For this scenario, it's gonna be a lot more complex, and I'm gonna call this something like AI research for now. I'll explain what it is in a second with my prompt. Down over here, what I'm gonna do is paste the following so you can understand it better. So I wanna create an AI-powered company research tool, kind of like a stock research where I can type a certain stock, and from there I should get all of the information about it, what people are saying is good, what they're saying is bad, and some financial data too. That's the idea, but for that we need some kind of place where we're pulling that data from, and that's where that whole API key comes handy. So that's gonna be the Financial Modeling Prep API key. Don't worry, this one's free to use and sign up, so feel free to check it out. This is their website, and you just need to log in and then go to dashboard to see your API key. So what I'm saying is the user is gonna need to connect the API key, and then Claude is gonna be the actual analyst looking at all of the data that we connect to it. From there, we wanna create different things like seeing the recommendation, the market sentiment, similar to what you might see in a sell-side analyst role in finance. Now, before we run this, to make things a bit different, let's actually go ahead and remove the design system. So let's see what it is able to come up with without that guidance of using the career principles design. Let's run that. We don't need any data in this case because it's all coming from the internet. Once here, the key is this live part. So you want to make sure you click on that. And here we need to create that live connection. I already did earlier, but basically that API key is what you need to paste over from Financial Modeling Prep. Take the API key in your dashboard and paste it in here so you have access to all of its data. Now I can go ahead and click on any company like Nvidia, let's say, this is their ticker. And after giving it a few seconds here, you'll notice that it's got the price for it, the recommendation, so it's saying to hold right now, a few of the key metrics, some breakdowns of what's good about it, what's bad about it, and also some of the key parts that are flagged. And to verify that this is right, let's suppose we go for another company like Apple and actually look up Apple's share price. Right now, Apple is 307.34, and if I look in here, 307.34, that's exactly the same. The market cap is 4.71. If I go in here, you can see it's the exact same number. So that's all looking accurate. And of course, there are many other tools in the market that do similar things, but the cool part here is that we just did this in pretty much a few seconds by writing a fairly simple prompt. It wasn't even that well optimized. Hopefully, you can start to see just how powerful Claude Design is, and the next step would be to learn Claude in Excel, which you can do with this video over here, or by taking our AI for Business and Finance course over here. Hit that like and that subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.